right, here we go. We're going to try this. I'll just start recording this. All right, GC Community Chat, show number 221.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to GC Community Chat. I'm your host, Kerry, and joining me tonight is Wayne County Commissioner Richard LeBlanc,
That's right,
Dr. Tom Iwinski, and Derek Parton. This show is dedicated to you, the residents and businesses of Garden City, as well as the surrounding communities. Remember, we're working hard to promote our community and yours.
Well, hello, everyone. It's Thursday, October 30th, 2014, and you are listening to show number 221. I'm your host, Kerry, and joining me tonight is my co-host, Wayne County Commissioner Richard LeBlanc.
Yes, thank you.
How you doing, Richard?
Very good today, thank you.
Unfortunately, we're not doing this on TalkShoe tonight, Richard, because I couldn't call in, so I'm recording this.
I saw that on Facebook.
I'm recording this on Audacity, and then we'll upload it later on. Dr. Tom's going to be with us. He's going to record a weather segment, and I will put that on later as well. And so welcome, everyone, in the chat room. You're not there, so we're not going to be able to do that. But, hey, if you're watching us on YouTube or you're going to download the show later, thanks for being with us. We appreciate your support, and we'll see how it goes.
Deal.
Tonight we have another great show for you. Joining us in a few minutes will be Mr. Jim Hart from the Westland Jaycees. And Jim has also brought with him the 90th president of the Michigan Jaycees and a trustee for Redford, Mr. Jay Johnson. Now, ask me how I knew it was the 90th president.
How'd you know?
Google.
No, Jim told me.
Jay tells you everybody knows. Right?
We're going to try and expand the membership for them and learn a little bit about the Jaycees while they're here, so stay tuned for that. And then it's the end of the month, so that means State Representative David Knezek will be here with any state updates. And I also have asked David to try and explain some of these proposals on the ballot for Tuesday's election. So if you're confused like me and Richard, a lot of us...
I'm not confused. Don't put me into your bin.
Like a lot of other voters.
I already voted.
Yeah, I know you did. Hopefully we'll be able to explain that, and I believe Richard will have a couple of county updates and announcements as well. But first, we want to thank Mr. Mike Jones. Mike's in the studio tonight. Thank you, Mike, for being here and for filling in for Richard last week. You said
Thank you.
He said he had some big shoes to fill. He didn't have Mr. October T-shirt, though.
Oh, I wish I'd have known.
Now, if you'd like to be a part of the conversation tonight, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to call in because, like I said, we're not doing this on TalkShoe, but you can text your questions and comments to 734-788-9319. That would always work. And then, as always, you're not going to be able to join us in the chat room either because we're not on TalkShoe. So there you go. All right. Let me see where we're at here. We're going to skip all that because we're not in TalkShoe. All right, all our shows will be recorded live, and you'll be able to listen to all 221 on our show page at your convenience, when and wherever you want. We are also in iTunes. Just search for GC Community Chat, and don't forget, we're doing a live video recording tonight's show, so you'll be able to put a face with the voice. And that video will be up probably later tonight or tomorrow morning. The channel on YouTube is youtube.com/communitychatshow. All right, we're not going to get the weather until later with Dr. Tom, but it isn't looking too good for the trick-or-treaters, that's for sure, tomorrow.
Horrible.
Yeah.
We need to move it up. We need to have Halloween on September 30th.
I think you're right. But hey, we do have Joey and Holly here. They're going to give us their 2-minute gardening. I know Richard likes that song. So let's get to Joey and Holly, and then we'll get to our guests.
This is Gardening in 2 Minutes. Yet winter is nearly upon us in the northern hemisphere, but you can grow fruit all year round indoors.
That's correct. We actually have a dwarf lime tree that we grow in our kitchen and finally have fruit on it. And there's different varieties of dwarf trees that you can buy and you can grow successfully and have fruit come from them.
Now you want to keep in mind a couple of things when you're growing dwarf variety fruit trees. One, you need adequate sunlight. Ours is in a south-facing window, so it gets a lot of sunlight during the daytime. If the plant is indoors, these trees flower, so you're going to have to hand pollinate because you don't have bees available indoors to do that. You can pollinate by taking a Q-tip and taking the pollen from one flower to another. Now, these dwarf lime trees, pomegranate trees, orange trees, and a variety of other dwarf variety trees need to be grown in a very large container. Now, these can potentially get up 8 to 10 feet tall, but ours is a very confined, and plants will grow to the size of the container that they are in. We've had to repot this tree 2 times now, and it's not instantaneous that you're going to get fruit. Dwarf lime trees, or dwarf variety trees in general, will take about 3 to 5 years to reach a point where it's going to bear fruit. So it is a patient thing.
Also, the more you repot it, the more it's going to stunt its growth a little bit for a little while, because it does shock it. Even though you're keeping it in the same conditions, that moving around the roots is giving a little bit of a shock.
One other thing, if you do have growth off the rootstock, it's not going to be the same as the top growth. Dwarf trees have a specific type of root stock that is grafted onto the specific type of fruit that you're trying to grow on top. For more information on growing dwarf lime trees or dwarf variety fruit trees indoors, our weekly video productions, as well as our free downloadable digital quarterly magazine, you can find all that information at
to say in one
The
breath.
WisconsinVegetableGardener.com.
for the health conscious organic gardener worldwide. For Gardening in 2 Minutes, I'm Joey Baird.
And I'm Holly Baird.
All right, thank you, Joey and Holly. We appreciate that. All the way from Wisconsin.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
And we're going to do a road trip, right?
Oh, yeah.
Not in the winter, though, that's for sure.
They have less snow than we do.
No way.
Yes, they do.
Are you serious?
Dead serious.
Wow. It's colder, though, isn't
Well,
it?
the lake effect picks it up and moves it
Exactly.
east.
Exactly.
Yeah,
They
that's
have
true.
a lot
That's
less
true.
than we do.
Yeah.
I've been there in the
All I know is I watch Lambeau Field, man, the Green Bay Packers, and it looks awful cold there. All right, let's get to our guests tonight. They are here representing the Michigan Jaycees. Please welcome Jim Hart and Jay Johnson, president of the Michigan Jaycees. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us on the show, Kerry.
Hit the whistle and applause button.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for being here. Hey, why don't you give us a little background on the Jaycees, also known as the Michigan Junior Chamber, I would assume, right?
Yes,
You want to
it is.
explain that?
Absolutely. So the Michigan Junior Chamber is actually a 90th. We're in our 90th year. The United States Junior Chamber was actually founded 95 years ago, and we're moving towards our 100th anniversary. But what we started as actually was a little bit outside of a junior chamber movement. We were a social dance club. So there was nothing.
Really?
Yes.
Richard,
no.
you'd have fit right in.
A
buddy.
lot of people had no idea about this, but
that's what they
initially, the founder, Henry Giesenbeer, was like, hey,
He's in beer?
Giesenbeer. Yep.
Wow.
Absolutely. St. Louis.
Dancing and beer.
St. Louis, Missouri, started it out, said, we need a place to hang out with people that are like our age. So he started a dance club, and then he realized, well, there's a lot more out there than just dancing. And
beer.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
So he started to put together a collection of young professionals and people who had businesses, and at that time there wasn't very much out there for them to have a voice in politics or in government, and or to even have a voice in business. So they started to make a collection, and it literally blew up across the entire United States. Currently, we have nearly 17,000 members in the United States. We have 220,000 across the world. We're in about 140 countries. And it's a pretty amazing organization that helps to create positive change in local communities and across the globe.
So, Jim, who are they and what makes them different? I mean, what makes them different than, say, Kiwanis or the Rotary?
Well,
Do
I
you want to
know.
address that? I know you're not familiar with the Kiwanis, probably what they do, but,
Sure. So,
I mean, people, it's a club, basically, or organization, right? So what do you guys do that might be different than the Kiwanis?
sure.
for
So
instance?
we're young people focused. So as Jay said earlier, it was for young people, young professionals, young business people to come together. So our membership is from 21 to 40-year-olds in the area.
Right.
Okay.
40 is the limit.
40 is the limit.
Okay.
Actually, I think they.
That's when we kick you out and
That's
tell you
when they
go to
kick
the
out.
Rotary or the Kiwanis.
Hey, there you go. That works.
So that's a
As a
difference.
former JC,
Good
I have
answer,
to say
good
that was
answer.
good, and I've never heard that one before.
That is good.
Right. Yeah, the JCs train you up and tee you off so you can go out and do something when you get tired.
Right.
Anyway, young professionals come together. What we offer is kind of a few things. Individual development, people that want to learn some professional skills or some project management skills. A lot of the things that we do are obviously project-based. Sometimes they're recurring projects, or they're individual projects, or they're one-time projects. And people who don't have exposure to this kind of management skill yet can develop these kinds of skills in the JCs.
That's kind of where the chamber comes in then a little bit,
Right.
business-wise.
Right. So, I mean, but these projects could be, kind of a JC business, or they could be in terms of, what it takes for the JCs to operate, or these could be community focused or fundraisers, raising money for local charities, local events,
Okay.
things of that nature.
You're 501, right?
Yes.
We're actually a 501c4.
Oh,
Most of,
C4.
most of the local chapters and
Now, what's the difference there?
we are, and let me make sure that I say this
Plus
correctly.
one.
Yeah, we do not pay taxes on the money that we take in. However, we are not a charitable donation. We are not an actual nonprofit. We are a not-for-profit.
Okay, I got you. So go ahead, Jay. She's just going to take some pictures.
Oh,
Not a
yeah, no
problem. So, and then we have the element that a lot of other programs do.
This guy. You are a comedian. Okay, sorry for the
That's
interruption.
okay. Community focus, doing things for the community. Things are positive for the community. We'll be doing something with the commissioner here pretty soon. That's community focused. I'll let him talk
You're
about
allowed to say
that.
what it is.
Right.
All right,
We're
so-
going to talk about it.
Well, we're going to do the working with the commission to make a senior smile.
Awesome.
Going out and helping seniors rake leaves, take care of their yards, other that they would be unable to do themselves. That's another example of what the JCs do.
Okay.
Get involved in making positive impact in the community, and we do that either by with our backs or sometimes raising funds to give. What we do here in the Westland area JCs is December is our really busy month. We do a lot of projects that focus around children of homeless families. Making sure that all these kinds of different kids with these different kinds of troubled backgrounds or disadvantaged kids, they all have an opportunity to have a great Christmas. And that's one
So
of our
really,
signature projects.
there's a lot of similarity there with the Kiwanis
There
because
is.
they work with the kids. I mean, they help, the seniors or whatever they can do too,
Right.
and the food banks and stuff like that. I don't know, do you get involved with, probably, right, food banks and...
We can. I mean, it's not an ongoing
Donations.
project, but it's something that we've gotten involved with before and maybe assisting with a can drive. Sometimes we get just a call out from other groups, either, other civic groups that say, JC's, we got our hands full on this one, we need some help.
Right,
And
right.
We'll rally around that usually
Yeah.
if we can.
Hilarious, huh? We have a blast, believe me. And this is all on video, too. I want you guys to know that.
Yeah, but he's on video.
I think one of the things that really kind of sets us apart is the leadership development.
Right.
In the organization for young people, there's oftentimes when I joined the chamber, I'm a small business owner as well. I own a communications company. When I joined the chamber, I was one of the younger people in the room, and there would have never been an opportunity for me right out of the gate to jump in and be a member of the board on the chamber or anything else. There's a lot of other people that had been there for many years. In the JCs, that's kind of what it's set up for, is to give you that chance to be a leader, to give you a chance to develop and hone those leadership skills. So then that way, as you transition into your business life, your professional life, your any other aspect of life, you're able to run massive scale projects. I mean, going back, just taking a look at it, the Grand Rapids Airport was built on funds that were provided by the Grand Rapids area JCs.
Wow.
We used to run PGA tours. We used to, different things like seatbelts in cars. We ran the very first public awareness campaign for that. We raised, hundreds of thousands of dollars for the American Cancer Society and things. So these are all things that people kind of get to do that.
Yeah, I went on your website and I see you partnership with a lot like the
Yeah,
American
definitely.
Cancer Society. And
Yeah.
I was really interested on the Michigan Road one that's on your website.
Yeah,
You got to
Fix Our
address that a little bit. Fix Our
Fixing the
Roads.
roads?
Fixourroads.com or whatever.
We-
You have to tell me about that.
JC's for governor.
Well, there was a campaign.
Right.
There was a campaign that had come out, just fix the roads, and it was a hashtag on Twitter and Facebook and everything else like that. The Michigan Junior Chamber got involved. We established one of our state board officers to be a representative and a liaison for the meetings and for the information coming out, helped pass the word to our 1,200 members across the state, who then, advocated and got involved by, helping to spread the word of, Michigan's infrastructure is important, and we want
Yeah.
to have this, as young people, we want to see our infrastructure last for the next 20,
Well, that's a
30
real
years.
hot
And,
potato right now, that's for sure.
so, we got involved in that real early and tried to, push that message out there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Did you want to comment too, or no?
No, actually, Jay had a lot to do with that too. So I mean, he would have been the perfect person to answer that. I mean,
Wow.
he presented it to the local chapter, and we were all behind it. We all felt the same way.
Cool. So, Jaycees, they're not in Garden City, but you're looking to
Not
expand.
yet.
Not yet. So that was really the purpose of you guys really being here, is to try and build on your membership, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, we are always looking for that next set of 21 to 40-year-olds that want to make a difference in their community, that want to make a difference in their own personal lives, whether it's a local business effort or an entrepreneurial effort, or even if it's just that you want the chance to have some leadership skills that you can then foray into wherever you work, your career, your home life. And quite frankly, the thing that everybody ends up sticking around for is the relationships and the networks. I mean, let's be honest. I would
Yeah.
not be sitting here. I wouldn't be a sitting trustee in Redford Township if it wasn't for getting leadership skills and getting active in my community. I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for the Michigan Junior Chamber and all these, Representative Knezek over here, and Commissioner LeBlanc and Carrie, and everybody else. It's one of those things where I can honestly attest I wouldn't have met anybody in this room probably had it not been for the Jaycees.
Wow,
And that those networks, those relationships go a long way.
Actually, Mr. President, you wouldn't be here at all but for Jim.
That's true. Whom I met through the Jaycees.
And I'd say that agreeing with everything that's been mentioned thus far, my involvement in the Jaycees began in probably the latter part of the 80s, and developed some things and found out that, it was a pretty good place to be. There was a lot of
Yeah.
stuff that occurred outside that JC realm. And when Jim contacted me a month or so ago to say, can we sit down and have a coffee? It was really because they're hungry to be able to do more stuff,
Right.
to spread the wealth, so to speak, and
Start recruiting.
viewed this as maybe an opportunity to send a message to
Yeah.
folks in different communities that are in and around Westland and Redford, that there's some things here, maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't, but if you don't, at least give it a shot, you won't know. I
And
remember I got an invitation, and that's why I did it.
Yeah. And what's good about you guys is you're getting the younger people involved. That is huge. I mean, the Kiwanis is always looking for younger blood to come in there, and it's hard. It is hard to get these young kids, involved in this stuff.
We're seeing that a lot ourselves. I mean, with the millennials especially, it's harder to get them engaged. For me, I was 21 years. I was still in the military. I came out. I had the team concept. From my younger days, even in high school, we're seeing that culture change a lot. So us trying to target some of these younger kids that we were much harder to target before, and then
Yeah.
engage them. It's harder to engage them. So.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do? What do you do to reach those, target them?
Stalk.
Yeah.
We're not above black bagging. If you,
I like this guy.
Military.
Yeah, right.
At the end of the day, it's for the millennial generation, it's really all about engagement, and it's about showing the value of the engagement of the network. And in many cases, when they see the network and they see that, we have a statewide conference and we have 250 people show up there, and they get to meet people from literally all over the state, or if we have a national conference and there's 500-600 people there, and they get to meet all these people from over the country. One of the coolest things is there's not a single state in the United States right now that I couldn't make a phone call to and have a place to stay, somebody to take me out and show me all the different, nightlife, local attractions, museums, or
Road trip.
Yeah, exactly. There's
Yeah.
not a single place in the United States because of my activity within there. So
Wow,
that's a
yeah.
very attractive prospect to millennials
Right.
in many cases, because they get that opportunity to travel, a connectedness, a togetherness, and it's that's something that I think has been somewhat attractive to that generation.
Ring, ring. Who's on the phone? 90. Michigan 90. Pick it up.
Michigan night, okay.
That's right.
So what about social media? You guys out on social media?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's a great tool if it's used right.
Yes. The Michigan Junior Chamber itself is on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, all of those. I know the local chapters have done a pretty good job of getting themselves at least active on one or two different social medias. I'll let Jim speak to Westland specifically. They just launched even a new digital website that is absolutely fantastically gorgeous. But, you know, the Nationals has really kind of gotten involved. You know, they've got a large Facebook presence and a lot of exhausted roosters all the way down to brand new members that, you know, contribute ideas, thoughts, projects, different opportunities for people to kind of engage in. But go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, we're on Facebook, the Westland Area Jaycees. We do have a public Facebook page. We are developing that. It's getting
You want to
very
go ahead
active.
and mention it? Was it facebook.com/
Westland Jaycees.
Okay.
Just find us on Facebook at Westland Jaycees.
Just look for Westland
Just look for
Jaycees.
Westland Jaycees. We'll be there.
And
And
then-
that's a good sounding board to go ahead and see what we're doing. We're starting to update that very regularly, as well as Jay alluded to our brand new website that we just published 2 weeks ago. That was from a ground up. One of our members was given the task to we need a new website, and she ran with it. And that was April Hendricks. She did a fantastic job, and she's a brand new member. She's a good example of, you know, someone who didn't know what we had before, but once they got in, their mind was blown, and they're totally excited about what they're doing.
And what's that website address?
It's westlandareajcs.org.
Westland. I want to check it out. Area. Jaycees.org.
That's correct.
Okay.
JAYCEES.
Okay, cool.
.org. A
Awesome.
fantastic website, and that's really going to be where a lot of our members are going to. We're creating an interface for all our members. They're going to have their own email accounts. They'll be able to get through the website, hot link to all of the very important things that are going on, as well as very community focused. What are the Jaycees doing this week? What are they doing this month? What are they doing for the rest of the year? We're going to have an interactive calendar too.
That's cool. We were talking earlier before you got here. You had mentioned that Westland, you had changed it to the Westland Area Jaycees now.
Correct.
So you want to try and
Right. So one of the things,
Expand.
I came from the Redford Jaycees before I came to Westland.
Okay.
I grew up in Redford, moved to Dearborn Heights after the military, then I moved subsequently to Westland. I was pulled into the Redford Jaycees because I had friends at the Redford Jaycees. Okay. Lot easier sell when it's your friend telling you got to do it. So we did it. Then we realized, look, Westland has a chapter too. So we came to Westland and we started talking to people. And more so often, I always got the answer, well, can I be a Westland JC? I live in Garden City. Can I be a Westland JC? But I live in Wayne.
Right.
And we're an organization of Chapters Without Borders. You know, we felt here in Westland that I think we're scaring away some people who think that they could be a part of us just because their city's name is not on our title.
Right.
So we felt that if we just changed it slightly to Westland Area Jaycees and let people know that, look, we're in the area, we're Westland, we're Wayne, we're Garden City,
Yeah,
we're
that was a good
Inkster.
idea.
We are a community. I mean, we share little roads. We don't share, state lines.
So you're looking to consolidate now, if you can, different communities.
Yeah, we're looking to consolidate different
Or
communities
under one umbrella.
and grow the chapter. And frankly, if it gets to the point where Garden City just has a very large membership and they want to start their own chapter, the Westland Area Jaycees will work
Help
with
them,
them and help them spin that chapter off, as well as all the support the state would be happy to give, as well as Redford. I'll speak for Redford. They'd be happy to help them. The success of every chapter is an interest to every other chapter.
Yeah.
So the more of us, it's always
Yeah, you
better.
want everyone to
Correct.
succeed for sure. Yeah.
And a lot of people kind of find it surprising for what it takes to start a chapter. For example, our South Lyon Area Junior Chamber, we launched them this year. Excuse me. We launched them this year, and it was from the effort of one person who went out and found 17 very interested young professionals within about a month time, found 17 of them and said, hey, I've got something for us that we can do here in our community. Are you interested? Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely. And I mean, the membership dues for the junior chamber is so small. It's $70 a year.
Okay,
for a
that's
chapter.
what I was going to ask you.
Yep,
$70.
$70 a year. And I have made this promise to everybody that I've ever recruited that if you don't find the value in the year one, in the first 6 months, I will refund your dues personally. And I've never had to do that. I can
Cool.
tell you honestly, I've never had to do that.
Yeah. Get out there and make a difference.
So, I mean, if we get to the point where there's, we find that 15 to 20 different 21 to 40-year-olds here in Garden City, we would launch that chapter, and it would take less than a month's time to do it.
Wow,
And then
that's
Garden City
quick.
could be, absolutely. Garden City would be, having hopefully the next future best chapter in the state within a couple of years.
Well, I hope we can help you out for sure. Yeah,
great.
anybody interested in wanting to make a difference, definitely contact you. What's a number they can contact you, or how would they go about?
I would actually have them go to the Michigan Jaycees,
Okay.
and it's spelled just how it sounds, JAYCEES.org.
Okay.
And they can get all kinds of information from there, but I'll also be happy to give out my personal, so they can call the president of the Michigan Junior Chamber. My
right.
phone number is 313-802-1602. And my email address is jjohnson, so it's just the letter J.
Oh, the letter.
Yep, JOHNSON
Mm-hmm.
at mijcs.org.
Okay.
So lots of ways to get in touch with us. We're always happy to take calls, emails, whatever it is.
So let me ask you this, okay? You guys, you term them out at 40.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what if somebody still wanted to be involved with the JCs? Is there anything available for them to
You
do?
know, that's a really great question. And a lot of people, we're finding that a lot of people are finding out about the Jaycees when they're 33, and they're not ready to give that up just yet, even though they're getting a little too old for it.
Right.
So the Westland area Jaycees has a provision for what we call associate members.
Oh, okay.
These are individuals that are invited to be part of a lot of the things that we do. Basically, the only thing they can't do is be part of the elections and the voting and the governance of the chapter.
Cool.
But you know, we still view them as what we consider to be an associate member. These are people that they're some of ours. They've aged out, but they don't want to leave. So
Yeah,
we
that's
never send
awesome.
anyone away.
Yeah, makes them feel still a part of it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got in a lot of different chapters across the state. There's 35 chapters. A lot of them have different ways that they manage it. If it's an alumni, they may have an alumni classification where they can come in to any of the events, meetings, or et cetera. But again, they can't vote or they can't hold a position. There's associate members. In a lot of cases, even there's an honorary membership, which a chapter might bestow upon a local elected official or something of that nature. One of the other honors that the highest honor that a local chapter and that the Michigan Junior Chamber can bestow on a member, especially on an alumni member, is a senatorship. And I know that's a really strange word that doesn't actually exist in the dictionary.
Listen
However,
up, Knezek.
Yeah, not that kind.
See his ears perk up?
So a lot of times there's a stipulation of being a board member multiple times, a board member at the state, 5 years of service within the organization, and somebody could be honored with a senatorship. And senatorship has no age limit. So our senators range anywhere from, I believe the last conference that we had a 93-year-old gentleman who was out there that was a senator that came back and supported and, still wanted to be involved in some level. So,
Cool.
yeah.
Now, how often do you guys meet?
So we have our
where do you
general,
meet?
our business meeting that we have, our membership business meeting is once a month right now.
Okay.
Right now, we're doing it the first Wednesday of the month. We meet at the Salvation Army and Vinoy Road here in Westland at 7:30 on Wednesdays. That's where we'll be meeting for the remainder of the year. We're looking to maybe move locations here beginning January. We have our eyes set on a few locations. We're growing, so we need more space.
So say somebody hears this show tonight and they want to maybe just come and see what it's all about. Is there any way they can come as maybe a guest or something? And,
Absolutely.
And check it out?
Doors are always open. Anybody who's interested, it's never closed. It's completely open.
Cool.
It's our general membership meeting, so it's half business, half fun. We follow a standard meeting format, but people are welcome to come, and we like them to come, and it gives them a
That's
good
good,
opportunity for them to talk to us. And 95% of the time, we always meet somewhere afterwards, and a little bit more fellowship and a good opportunity
That's
for them to ask
awesome.
more questions.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
cool.
And let me say something real quick on that. A lot of times somebody hears 21 to 40 and they're like, oh, well, I'm over that age. There's, it's not for me then. That's okay. I know that you have nephews. I know that you have nieces. I know that you have siblings. I know that you have children. And I can assure you that the leadership development that they will get within this organization is a gift that you could give them that would be beyond anything else that they're ever going to see. So if you do have those people, relatives, friends, family, nieces, however you want to look at it, that are between the ages of 20 and 40, we want them. We want to take them. We want to see, what kind of talent they have and help them to develop that talent that they can be
Get them involved.
active young citizens.
Yep.
I mean, I've seen from my own eyes, I've seen young people who wouldn't be comfortable standing in front of 3 people and giving a speech, can stand in front of a room of 100 people and do it. Jaycees have given that. The Jaycees have given me the courage to start my business when I did.
Well, you're a great talker, I got to tell you.
So,
I mean, you're really,
No,
really,
we-
both of you are really good.
Well, you get used to talking to people. So, but there's a lot of things we got out of it. And, you know, the only things we get personally out of it is just the enjoyment. And we want to share that with everybody else. I mean, there's so much here that can be done. There's so much positive that can be done in our community, as well as for self, that, you know, we don't want to keep it to ourselves.
Yeah, Mike, go ahead. I know you don't have a, well, yeah, there you go. I know Mike wants to say
Yeah,
something. I was going to
just a
ask you.
testimonial. I was a JC way back when. Considering I'm now 72, you can, and you were retiring people at 36 at that time, so you can see that half my life I've been an exhausted.
A lot
rooster.
has changed, my
Yeah,
friend, since
yeah.
then.
But there's 3 things that I would say that I got out of JCs that were invaluable. One was leadership training. The second one was knowledge of parliamentary procedure and how a meeting should be run. And the third one was how to organize a project and write a report on that project so that anybody could pick up from there and improve on it or follow up on it. These were just things that
Invaluable, yeah.
JCs emphasize all the time, and it's invaluable. I would not have done half the things I've probably done in the last 25 years of consequence if it hadn't been for that experience with the JCs.
We carry out tradition on today, so that's what we're looking to teach people.
So that hasn't changed.
And that's
No, they still have the same creed, I think.
Well, I know if they go to your website, the one that you mentioned earlier, I mean, there's a lot more information on there. Like you said, it shows all your training programs and everything. It's pretty impressive. It really is.
That JC
And for
creed-
$75 a year, I mean, that's invaluable, right?
Yeah, it is.
that JC creed is also awesome.
Yeah.
It really focuses on what's important in a person's life.
Yep.
I probably couldn't give you the whole thing anymore, but I can still remember the last one. Service to humanity is the best work of life.
That's right.
That's it.
That's it.
Geez, I couldn't remember that. I couldn't. So, Richard, what do you got? Anything you want to say? Parting words or anything? Comment?
I think it's indicative of the work that they're trying to do, in that, Jim reached out to say, hey, can we just have a conversation about how we can help? I mean, let's face it, that doesn't happen often, where you have people that are searching out opportunities
Yeah.
to help. And then, I encourage them too. By the way, make sure you have some folks there that are willing to not be seated with each other, sit with other people, and basically say, I'm with the Jaycees. It's a pretty cool organization.
Yeah.
So, my time as a JC, I thought was very productive. Met a lot of people that, in fact, I today, right immediately before this meeting, I met with a person that I serve with as a JC,
Really?
Westland Councilman Michael Kerr.
Wow.
He, like I, aged out, but he's a heck of a lot older than I am, so he aged out before I did.
It is amazing, though, when you join these organizations, the people that you meet. I mean, the networking in that is just, that's invaluable. It really is.
Yeah, yeah,
You meet a lot of people. Pretty cool.
yeah.
Well, anything else you wanted to cover while you're here? I mean, the forum, this is yours, man.
No.
Whatever you want to do. And
Quite simply, that's why we're here, to help put our name out there, let everybody know we are here. And I guess my only question to everybody else is, if you're 21 to 40 years old, why aren't you a JC?
right.
Yeah, no.
Right.
I mean, we
And like you said,
given
get your nieces and nephews and all them involved, too.
That's right.
For sure.
So I just want to say I'm really proud of my colleague here, Jim Hart, who has just recently been elected to the presidency of Westland. Jim actually was recruited my year as president of the local chapter of Redford into the Redford chapter. And it's funny because he's very much like I am. Both of us came in with some leadership skills and some business skills and everything else, but I think each of us will tell you that to watch each other grow, even both of us together, watch each other grow over the last 3 or 4 years, there's certainly room for improvement. So you never know anything. You never
And
never
you're
know
constantly-
everything until
You're constantly learning, right?
That's right, constantly
yeah.
learning. But I'm very proud of my friend.
So when were you elected president?
I was elected president of the Redford chapter in November of 2010. I served from January 1st, 2011 through the end of that year, and then I was elected to the Michigan Jaycees president I was elected in September of 2013, and I've served from January 1st, and my term will come to conclusion December 31st of 2014. So we kind of stand by the idea of that you have 1 year to lead, you have 1 year to to perform in a job function that you've been elected to do, and then you pass that torch and you get somebody else into that position to give them the same kind of leadership opportunities. So,
Awesome.
coming to the end of my term, and I wouldn't have traded it for the world. It's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of fun.
But you're not close to 40 yet.
I am not. I am 32. I'll be 30. I'll be 33 in about a week and a half here.
Oh, well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
You got a long way to go
I
yet.
got a few minutes. I got a few minutes. I've been asked to step up to the national office. I'm not 100% sure that I want to do that. I really am focused on my community right now, particularly with being a trustee and
Right,
a lot of the other things that I think I can do here in Michigan. It's not something that I would necessarily take off the table for forever, but I currently serve on the strategic planning committee for nationals. I'm also on the training and development committee for the international junior chambers. So I'm playing a role there, but just
So maybe we have a potential president here, huh, and Jim, maybe? Get him to step
I
up.
love to see that.
Think you'd be a good one.
I think so too.
Just make that commitment.
Yeah, I've raised my hand a few times already. Right? Somehow everybody would always say, "I'll never do it again." You get one friend of mine talking to doing anything. So.
Right. So how's things going in my hometown, Redford Township? Everything good?
We've started to see some of the rebound from the housing markets.
Good.
We've put in a couple of programs to kind of fix. We had a lot of homes that were abandoned and that were kind of open. We put in a couple of programs to start getting people in home ownership opportunities in the township. We've been able to increase our police and fire force through the generosity of the residents and supporting the elected special assessment district. So we're starting to see, a resurgence in a lot of community aspects. And
Good.
actually, I think the Jaycees have done a good job of trying to bring some different community partners together, even on that level, to really make an impact, with blight or with other things that might keep people out of there. So,
Yeah.
things are on the upwards.
Good, good. I know you got a beautiful library over there. We've been over there with the
It's
VCAT
gorgeous.
meetings.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Really nice. Well, look, hey, I thank you guys for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Carrie, thank you so much for having us.
Come back anytime. You're welcome.
Richard, thank you too. I appreciate it. It's kind of neat being in a room with all these different past Jaycees and current Jaycees. It's pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we appreciate you coming on, and like I said, come back anytime, and anything we can do to help
Thank
get
you
that
very
membership
much.
going.
Appreciate it.
If you do open a chapter in Garden City, let us know.
Absolutely.
All right. Well,
We'll
help us
promote that for
help
you.
us do it for you.
Yeah, we'll
we
get
will.
out there.
Like I said, this audio, I really apologize. TalkShoe, we had a problem. We couldn't call in, but it is being recorded. We will upload it to TalkShoe, and then everybody can listen to it. I'll put it on Facebook too as soon as it's available.
And I did the same
So
thing.
you'll
a
get
few
a lot of
moments ago.
exposure. Huh?
There's several people on my page that have indicated they really, really wanted to hear this.
Yeah. Well, they'll be able to hear it.
Yeah.
I mean, and we got the video too. So.
And after they do hear it after the audit, if they want to send us their questions or do it in a public
Yeah.
forum, we're more than happy to
There you
respond
go.
that way.
There you go.
If you'd ever like us to come back, we'd be more than happy to.
All right. Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Great meeting you guys.
Thank you to both of you.
Great to meet you.
All right. Take care.
Kiwanis is looking to get a chapter in Westland.
Very good. Good guess.
Yeah, nice.
Huh?
Nice. Everything-
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Great, thank you so much.
All right. You guys take care. All right.
Yes, thank you.
You know how to get out, right? Yeah. Okay.
Turn right past the dog.
In the cage, so
Yes, thank you.
take care, guys.
Okay, appreciate it.
And say hi to everybody in Redford Township for me.
Yeah.
All right.
Great organization. Make the most of it.
Yep. Take care. All right, before we get to David, just a quick reminder to mark your calendars for a couple of upcoming shows we have already scheduled. Next Thursday, we will have the Director of Training for the Stiggy's Dogs organization. Donna Fournier will be here. Stiggy's Dogs is a 501c3 organization that rescues and trains shelter dogs to be psychiatric service dogs for military veterans living with PTSD or TBI, traumatic brain injury. The psychiatric service dogs are trained and deployed at no cost to the veteran. You can read more about them at stiggysdogs.org. Then on October 13th, Daniel Lodge will be here from the Garden City Library, and we're going to be talking about collaboration among community organizations working to promote one another, which I think is a great idea. That's what it's all about, after all, right? All right, November 20th, Mr. Tim Fredenberg will be here. He is the owner of the Garage Training Facility right here in Garden City. Quite a story with Tim and how he turned a garage into his business. He's also, he also plays second as Mr. Michigan. This guy is, I mean, it's like looking in a mirror when I see this guy.
Yeah, right.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. And then jumping to December 18th, Richard, this is going to be good, and I think, David, you might like this. We're going to have a local author here by the name of Wayne Stolt, and he wrote the book called Crossing the Line. It's about immigration and the borders. So that should be interesting. Yeah, I want to know how he researched all that. So that's a pretty hot topic right now, too. Should be interesting. So we hope you'll make a note of the upcoming shows and be able to join us for those. Okay, let's get to our State Representative David Knezek in here. David, how you doing tonight?
I'm well, Kerry. How are you?
Good.
Senator?
Is your mic on? Senator?
David, please. Yeah, should be.
Okay, good. All right, so let's get to it. You got any state updates for us? It's probably been pretty quiet, right?
Yeah, still very quiet at the state level, so legislatively, very little to discuss or update folks on. Obviously, I think a lot of what we're going to be focusing on after the election, without question, is going to be largely dependent on what the outcome of the actual elections are.
Yep, it's going to be huge.
I think anybody who is familiar with the goings-on of Lansing will tell you that if any arm or branch of the government is switched next Tuesday,
Yeah.
the lame duck session is going to be pretty tumultuous. I've personally never worked or lived through a lame duck session, so I can't speak to it personally.
Richard, have you?
But 3 times.
Pretty interesting, huh?
But if we know come
way
Tuesday,
to describe
you know,
Yeah.
the reality is right now the Republicans control the House, the Senate, the governor's office. Supreme Court, Attorney General, dog catcher, Secretary of State.
Yeah. Yeah.
If one of those flips
catcher.
next Tuesday, if
State flower.
State flower.
State bird.
If we know that come January we're going to have a Mark Schauer as a governor or a Democratic legislature, this is going to be the last 2 months for an entirely Republican-held majority to get through whatever it is that they'd like to get through. And so I would envision a lot of long nights and sleepless nights, but that's all yet to be seen.
Yeah.
And we could talk
Reminds me
about
of
the
a
election
song.
too.
Wasted days and wasted nights.
Oh, sing it, Richard.
Who sings that?
Let's cut his mic off.
Who sings
Waylon
that?
Jennings?
Waylon Jennings. Let's keep it that way. Yeah.
Is it Wayne? That might be, yeah. Yeah.
Before my time.
Do you know that tune, Far, Far Away?
But so I mean it's going to be interesting, and the polling going into this last week.
Oh, I can't wait. I mean,
it is
wow.
It's a dogfight.
Going to be
It's a
awesome.
dogfight. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
So what's the latest polls with Snyder and not
The
good?
latest poll that I've seen today was 48-48. Yesterday
serious?
I saw 48-47. I think for Schauer. But then you see some other ones, and Snyder will be up.
Yeah.
47-39 or
And that's
something
expected,
like
being
that.
the incumbent.
Yeah.
But, what I'm hearing a lot is Schauer he's saying, he's just not explaining what he's going to do. That's what I'm hearing.
Sure.
And, just like he was on, I told you, with Flashpoint last night, he says a lot of things, but he doesn't, Devin was trying to get it out of him, Devin Skillian. What are you going to do? Where are you going to get this money?
Last night?
Yeah. Yeah, on Flashpoint.
Well,
prime
there's,
time.
there's always going to be different approaches that you take, and I think that what certainly is going to help Mr. Schauer in this race is convincing those really just the anti-Snyder folks to come over and support him and get him across the finish line. And sometimes that's the way it goes. If it's a heads-up, open seat type thing, everybody's trying to espouse their ideas and convince you that they're going to do the best job. If you're taking on an incumbent like this, the strategy in some cases almost becomes, well, let me capitalize on the folks that 4 years ago might have supported this guy, but in the time since have come to have a pretty healthy disdain for things that they've seen as missteps in office. And can we convince those folks to actually show up and turn out on election day? And I think certainly something to watch for, and potentially could really change the outcome of these statewide elections in the future. Lon Johnson, the chair of the Democratic Party, has been touting increased absentee voter participation in these gubernatorial years. As you know, there's a massive drop-off between presidential and gubernatorial years,
Oh, yeah.
a majority of which truly is attributed or can be found within Democratic voters who just don't turn out in gubernatorial years.
That's true.
And so Chairman Johnson has been placing increased focus on getting those folks to participate as absentee voters. And the latest numbers that we've seen coming out of some of our urban centers, Lansing, Detroit, and what have you, is that absentee voters are up as much as 33% this year compared
wow.
to previous gubernatorial years.
That's big.
And if it comes down to a point or two, I mean, those AV voters are going to be
Yeah.
what puts you
That's a big
over
deal.
the top.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be really interesting. I've told folks that I legitimately cannot give you a definitive answer. I see scenarios on Tuesday where Snyder wins. I see where Shower wins. I see where the House flips Democrat, where it stays the same, where the
Wow.
Republicans pick up seats. I mean,
It's really that much up in the air.
yeah. Oh,
Wow.
yeah. And it's just it's hard getting a pretty consistent pulse across the state. We've got seats where there's no way in hell Democrats should be winning these seats, but they're up big right now. And we've got seats where there's no way in hell a Republican should be winning this seat, but they're up big in
crazy,
that
isn't
seat
it?
right now. So it's really kind of all over the map.
Wow, it is. So give us your take on the big deal here. With,
Proposals.
well, yeah, we're going to do that, but I just have a question here. Shower says that Snyder cut $1 billion from
Sure.
school education. Can
Sure.
you give your scenario on that? Did he or did he not?
My honest opinion is
Yes and yes.
Yes.
is that both candidates
Right.
can legitimately make arguments
Okay.
that they're right. I would be more inclined, well, I won't say more inclined, I'm solely within the point of view that Mr. Shower is sharing as it relates to money in the classroom. If you look at just the base amount of money that was spent on the school aid fund
Yeah.
in 2010 and what is being spent in the school aid fund in 2014, there's $1 billion additional dollars. And so Governor Snyder can legitimately go around the state and say, well, I've increased education funding, if you're calling the school aid fund education
Yeah,
funding.
because he claims it
$1
was
billion,
$9. Yeah,
right?
it was $9 billion. Now he just signed $11 billion.
Went to pensions.
Within that school aid fund, however, you've got money that is what we call the foundation allowance, which is that per pupil allotment that is sent down to the districts. We've got money that is pulled out for community colleges and universities. We've got money to cover legacy costs as it relates to MIPSers, the Public Employees Retirement System. And so what we've seen since 2010 is an increase in the overall school aid fund budget, but a decrease in the amount of money in some districts to the tune of hundreds of dollars, a decrease in the amount of money that's being sent per pupil to the districts. And in the case of, I'll give Garden City for an example. One of the reasons a lot of us voted no on the education budget in previous years was the school aid fund was going to see an increase to the districts of $50 per student, for example. But with that $50 increase, the school districts were going to incur a $65 pension liability and have to pay $65 back to the state. So in effect, you're giving the districts a $15 reduction
Yeah.
per child that's being spent in the classroom.
Wow.
What I would have liked to see is perhaps a focus on, or just, I guess, a better way of trying to articulate what it is that I've just had to take 5 minutes to explain.
Yeah, because it is confusing.
It's really difficult.
Very, very.
You know, you could say I increase, I could decrease funding.
I mean, you're putting it in layman's terms pretty good
Right.
here, but it's
I mean, to me, you need to come at it and say, in 2010, we gave out $7,600 per kid, and in 2014, we give out $7,000 per kid. Those are the numbers. Those are the facts. We've cut education funding. Period.
and the lottery money. Does it go into the education fund?
Gary,
I mean,
there are a few questions that I love more.
Absolutely, it goes in.
It absolutely goes in.
Yeah.
It's a drop in the bucket.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Jones is correct. You know, when that was passed, it was done under the guise of this is going to be the answer to our education
Yeah,
funding
yeah.
problems. the reality is, of the $13 billion that is the education budget, I think last year only $700 million of it came from the lottery. And so, the money that's collected by the lottery, you've got the money that goes to the schools, the money that's paid out to the winners, blah, blah, blah. The total amount that's brought in that's able to go to schools, $700 million. And we're looking at a $13 billion budget. So does it make an impact? Certainly. I would even argue that, not that it doesn't make an impact, but when that money was put into the school aid fund, that freed up $700 million in the school aid fund to go elsewhere.
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
it really was just kind of shuffling the money around.
Yeah, right.
And
Shell game.
yeah. And so does it go to the schools? Does it go to education? Absolutely. Is it to the tune or to the magnitude that some folks would have you
The
believe?
mega millions.
Absolutely not.
Wow.
Absolutely not.
Boy, oh boy, that's something. Yeah, so that's just basically what everybody's hearing is Showers being asked, just like he wants to repeal the pension tax.
Which he should.
He should.
Which
but
Snyder should.
They ask, how are you going to do it? Where are you going to get that money?
Well, and the other problem is, as David said, what if only the governor's position changes?
Yeah.
What if
But
only
people
the
don't
gov-
know this.
The
And he's not explaining it.
The answer to repealing the pension tax, and I don't want to speak for the commissioner, but I believe I've heard him say the same.
Yeah.
We have a rainy day fund right now of $500 million plus dollars. That pension tax in its first year brought in, I believe, $218 million. Currently, it brings in $300 million. We could get rid of the pension tax today, take it out of the rainy day fund. We would still have a surplus in the rainy day fund, and we wouldn't be taxing the senior citizens who, in my
But
opinion,
how do you replenish that
Don't
rainy
deserve
day
it.
fund? Where's that
why
money
do you
gonna come?
have to? Why do you have to add to the rainy day fund with
Right.
senior pension tax?
Exactly.
No, that's my question to you. You ask how do you replenish
you don't.
it? I'm not suggesting that you do.
Yeah.
I'm suggesting that you make it right. That money is taken out of the economy.
Exactly.
There are
No,
a lot
I
of things
agree.
that I know, but there are a lot of things that happened in the year 2011 with the tax changes that took money right out of our economy, out of our state economy, but more
Yep.
especially out of our local economy.
Yep.
And they put it into this
Big
little
time.
envelope called rainy day fund.
And why the hell do we need a rainy day fund? Do we need all that?
Absolutely.
You do need
All that though? 500 million?
It's probably not enough because you need a percentage of the money. You need 10% is a recommended level. For a
Okay,
state.
okay.
So it wouldn't be at 10%, even with $500 million. It's not quite there. But that's beside the point. You should take other measures that some would consider necessary to build up that fund. The state
Yeah.
has taxing authority.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So
Where are you going to get that money to replenish
if you get a
that?
governor's signature and working backward, you get 20 members of the Senate,
Mm-hmm.
and you get 56 members of the House. You can charge people for anything you want.
Yeah,
that's
pretty
nuts.
much. Yeah. No, that's not the American way, is it?
So,
It's the majority.
well, it is. But
It is.
you can't do the same in the city of Garden City. The
No.
mayor can't say, my city council, my colleagues, let's by a majority vote implement a new tax. You can't do that. You got to go to the voters for
Yep.
that.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
at the state, they
Yes.
don't go to the voters. They go to themselves and say, this is what we're going to do. So,
Mm-hmm.
and by the way, and I've railed before, so this is nothing new to our regular listeners, but all the while, taking money away from education,
Mm-hmm.
taking money away from municipalities, taking money away from counties, money that had been pledged long
Long
ago.
time ago.
We will take away from you your right to do A, B, and C, and we'll restore those anticipated monies by or through revenue sharing. But then you've got statutory revenue sharing, and it's the will of the legislative process and those who participate in it to adjust, that amount of revenue. So the whole thing is, I think the argument is off base. The argument shouldn't be, how do we put more money into the fund if we take that money out? The argument should be, the money shouldn't have been there in the first place.
Right.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. You're right. Absolutely.
Tell us we're right some more. I like that.
And your governor did that.
Well, the legislative process, the governor signed a bill. Make no question about it. You know,
Yeah.
he wanted it.
Yeah. He got a lot of stuff passed there real
Yeah,
quick.
but I mean, the legislature did it. The governor signed it.
Yeah, true. Well, I don't know. And there's so much other crap that's, you know, like the road fund, for God's sake. I
Yeah.
mean, that's going to be,
Well, and not to deviate too much from the point, but Snyder has been very forthcoming about the fact that he has zero plans to get rid of that pension tax.
Yeah.
He owns it.
That's bold.
He
Yep.
owns
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Which
That is very-
which really struck me during the debate when it was brought up that he said he owned it and he is not
pissed
going
off a
to
lot of seniors, I'll tell you that.
But it's admirable for a politician.
to
in
own
my-
it like
in
that.
It is,
Oh, yeah.
but it
Yeah,
could
it's
be
gutsy.
stupidity,
It's
too.
gutsy.
Yeah, gutsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember thinking in 2012, with all the stuff that happened in 2011, some of it being evidenced to the electorate in 2012, there's just no way that the House is not going to flip back.
Yeah.
And when the House maintained its Republican advantage, I remember saying to the Speaker of the House, Jace Bolger, I can't believe because of everything you guys did, you kept it. And he said, it's because of everything we did that we kept it.
That's ridiculous.
Really?
But it was an interesting observation. And there are a number of people, in my opinion, who say, well, things were haphazard for a long time, and so, you know, might cost us some money, but we're okay with it. This is going to be even more interesting because the election next week,
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
everything is full blown.
We were talking about it today. I mean, it's just going to be interesting as hell.
But everything is, all of those changes from 2011 are now,
In place.
they are in place, and
That's
people get to see better how it affected them.
Yep.
Better than 2 years ago.
When we were campaigning in 12, we were going around, I remember very explicitly, on people's doors saying, they just tax this, they just tax that, it's coming. It's coming. You're going to feel it.
Yeah.
Nobody felt it then, but now they feel it in the pocketbooks. And so I think that's, in large part, some of the reasons why we're seeing some of the shifts in the numbers in a gubernatorial year that, for all intents and purposes,
Yeah.
should not historically be as close as it is. But right now,
That's true.
It's
Yeah.
neck and neck.
Incumbents usually, fly through
to
there.
the election, yeah.
yeah.
Unless you're Blanchard.
Yeah.
Poor Jimmy.
Jimmy.
That was a tax increase that did it.
Yeah, it was.
Amongst other things.
That was a terrible time
He's got
for
a great
that.
book you should read, though. Side note.
Really?
Yeah, Behind
I
the
liked
Empty
him
Door.
myself, but-
Great book.
All right.
It's something we had to do at that time. State was in terrible shape. We needed more revenue. You had the guts to
We're
say,
gonna record you saying we need more taxes.
Wow.
You think?
I,
Of course, that's just one man's opinion.
Notice the silence.
Yeah.
You want me to sing again?
Oh, silent.
No more taxes.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Got that
No,
one.
Oh.
Got
I'm
that
not
one.
that.
All right.
I feel you gotta
Next
pay for the
subject.
things that you need to do.
Moving along. Not kidding, Mike. Moving along, though, I did want to get to some of these ballot proposals.
So let me keep it simple for everyone.
Yeah.
They don't matter.
It don't matter.
Both of them are
On the
moot.
wolves?
They're a mute, however you want to say it. It's a mute point.
Well, here's the thing.
I'll explain to you.
People
why.
want to know, do they vote yes or vote?
It doesn't
If somebody doesn't want to hunt the wolves, what do they vote?
Doesn't matter.
They're going to do it anyway?
I'll tell
Because
you-
the
I'll give you the
legislature
example.
did what?
We usurped the
There
legislative
you
and
go,
the democratic
bingo.
process. The same way, here's, and believe me, I could take you on a mental roller coaster right now. I had to write it down explicitly because even
want you to
after
read that
voting on
verbatim.
everything, it's difficult to follow.
Yeah.
Let me break down a very simple.
I'd still vote no, though, while he's talking.
Sure.
Okay.
A very simple explanation.
I was going to.
When
But
a group of citizens, 300,000 some strong, put together a citizens initiative. And a citizens initiative, the citizens go out, they get the language approved, they get a number of people to sign off on
To
it,
get
a
it on
certain
the ballot.
percentage. And to bring that language to the legislature to
Oh.
force a vote on it.
Okay.
So you can do a referendum, you could do an initiative, you could do
It's an impressive
instead
amount of work.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Instead of the legislature letting the ballot language go before the voters in November that would have raised the minimum wage to $10.10. That ballot initiative would have amended Public Act X.
Oh.
The legislature went in, wrote a new bill that nullified Public Act X and created a new law which raised the minimum wage to $9 and whatever cents, 20
Yeah.
cents it was.
Yeah.
And so, in effect, 300,000 some people had signed off on a citizens initiative to amend a law that at that point no longer existed. It's really
Crafty as heck.
slick.
Wow,
it's
that is
slick.
slick,
It's,
man.
and I'm not saying it's right,
No, it's
but I'm
very-
saying, gosh, is it slick?
It is.
And so the same fashion, the same
Exactly.
usurping, if you will, as it relates to the wolf issues, is what folks are going to go when they go to the ballot next Tuesday. Proposal 1.
Yeah.
If you vote yes on Proposal 1, you're upholding PA 520, which allows for the establishment of wolf hunting seasons
Oh.
in the state of Michigan,
Okay.
and it designates wolves
As
as a
Game-
game animal.
game animal.
Okay? If you vote no, you are seeking to overturn PA 520.
Okay.
Problem being, as soon as that language was approved, the legislature went in, passed PA 21, Public Act 21, that got rid of PA 520. So now there's no longer a law that Proposal 1 is trying to change. It doesn't exist.
But
So
it's
whether
already
you
on the
vote,
ballot.
yeah.
So
So whether you vote yes or whether you vote no, it's not going to change the fact that PA 520, what you are voting to maintain or throw out on Proposal 1, it doesn't exist anymore. So it doesn't matter how you vote. But
Oh, for
again,
God's
if
sake.
you want to establish wolf hunting seasons and establish the wolf as a game animal, you would vote yes,
yes.
on Proposal 1. If you want to overturn that law, you would vote no. When they got rid of PA 520 by writing Public Act 21, Public Act 21, Public Act 21 allows for the Natural Resources Commission to designate a game species and to designate hunting seasons. Now, this is a change because as of right now, the legislature, through law, establishes what a game species is. And the commissioner can harken back to 2006 when it got bloody
dove.
over the debate of
Yeah.
mourning doves and whether or not
Oh, I
we can
remember
hunt
that.
mourning doves.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so PA 21 says no longer is the designation of game, or pardon me, Proposal 2, which a yes vote supports the concept of the Natural Resources Commission designating game species and designating hunting seasons. PA 21 was passed by the legislature to negate PA 520. And so
So I think our listeners are really confused.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. We'll come back to it.
It's
at the end.
better.
Oh, no, it gets
Well,
better.
that's
It gets
the
better.
intent.
So as
Part.
yeah.
Wow.
As soon as Public Act 21 was passed, an organization called the Citizens for Professional Wildlife Management collected a group of signatures to present a referendum to the legislature to vote on in order to negate a referendum on Public Act 21. And so even if you go to the polls and vote yes on Proposal 2 or no on Proposal 2, it doesn't matter. Because what Proposal 2 seeks to uphold or amend is no longer in existence.
So,
And so Proposal 1,
This is what happens when you have
wow.
one power.
a government controlled entirely on one side.
So let me just ask you this real quick. Why was this even put on the ballot? Is there overabundance of wolves
No, well,
that they want to eliminate, or what?
this issue is, and
I can't wait to go out and hunt some wolves
yeah.
because I want.
Hell, can you
I want some
even
wolf-
find one? I
I want
can't.
some
Where the
wolf
hell
meat
are
in my
they?
freezer so I can
this
get through the
issue,
winter.
this issue is in many respects confined to the Upper Peninsula, and the folks who represent the UP are very passionate about this issue. And the way it was argued to me previously
Passionate.
about supporting the wolf hunting,
Really?
and they will tell you a myriad of stories related to their
Fables.
Some would
Yeah,
say
yeah.
fables. Some
Yeah.
would say legitimate
The
stories.
dingo guy.
Talking about wolves stalking children on their way to school, stalking
Yeah.
their animals, and these wolves, I thought, I mean, okay, wolf, it's probably a big-sized dog,
Yeah.
These wolves they're pretty darn
Pretty
big.
big, yeah.
They're pretty darn big and vicious. And so the folks in the Upper Peninsula feel very passionately about, the wolves are threatening their livestock, they're threatening their animals, they're threatening their kids. They want to have the ability to go out and hunt these wolves. And the folks from us trolls under the bridge, as you might say, they feel very strongly that this issue doesn't necessarily impact folks in southeastern Michigan. So why should the folks in southeastern Michigan have
That's
a
what I was
say?
just going to say.
The way it was argued to me, and they use Garden City specifically because they know I've got a soft spot, they said this is like Garden City asking for a millage renewal on its schools and putting it before the entire state of Michigan. And so that folks in Grand Rapids or Escanaba could say whether or not the kids. I thought it was a fair example.
Yeah.
But again, emotions run very high on this issue because there are folks, and believe me, significant special interests. The Michigan Humane Society, the National Humane Society, who come in and are trying to flex their muscles on this issue.
Lobby against it.
Because they don't think that these animals should be hunted. And there's folks, gamesmen, hunters, folks in the UP who feel very
I
passionate.
just didn't think there was that much of a problem with the wolves up north.
Well, first of all, there's only so many wolves.
Yeah.
So if there's a problem
guess it
with
just
a
takes one, right?
territorial animal, and
Yeah.
I'm in that territory, I probably potentially possess the means to address that territorial pack or individual wolf.
Yeah.
But, when I was in the legislature and this was first brought up, I think it was in 2012. I'm pretty sure. It might have been 11. People came up with these really graphic and interesting stories about these attacks and what happened. Well, since then, I'll just say a person who, in my opinion, was kind of viewed as a ringleader regarding all of this. He's been prosecuted, convicted, and sentenced for being untruthful.
Oh, telling fables.
Kwame.
Well, I don't know if I'd say it's quite that bad. But, so a person that came with these stories convinced members of the legislature, some from the UP, some elsewhere. The bottom line is the story that he told was false. Didn't happen. A senator serving then and still today, actually was a part of all of that and has acknowledged publicly on the Senate floor
Really?
that maybe everything was not entirely as stated. So, come on. I'm not one of these that says it's a pretty little dog. I know better than that.
Yeah, they're right.
But I also know
it's a vicious animal. But
I also know that an issue like this, there's a mechanism in our Constitution to allow it to be addressed by the other special interest, and that is the electorate. And so the process is, you don't like the law, work to change it at the ballot box. Folks did their work, and then they were circumvented. That is not fair. It's allowed and it's legal, but it's just not fair.
Is it fair? No.
And so, my two no votes are a protest vote.
Yeah.
Because I hope that this thing goes down in significant flames, irrespective of geography.
And doesn't come back again, but
But I've worked
pretty
with
slick
the
though.
I've worked with the MDNR, and I've seen some of the things that they're able to do or to keep from happening. They have incredible power.
They do.
I think
a lot.
I think the legislature should secure most of it back and not cede it to the
People do
MDNR.
not realize how much power they have. Really.
Oh, it's incredible.
It is. It really is.
I say the same for MDEQ as well. There's a lot of things that happen that are counter to being sensible. And so, the issue came up. It was to a degree fabricated. The legislature acted on it. Other folks said, hold on a second. Then the legislature acted again. Just not right.
Yeah. So bottom line, if you want them to hunt, vote yes.
Proposal 1.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
but
matter.
It doesn't
But
matter.
If you want wolf hunting seasons to be established,
Yeah.
and if you want the wolves to be designated as a game animal, vote yes on Proposal 1. If you want the Natural Resources Commission to designate wolves as a game species and the hunting seasons for wolves, vote yes on Proposal 2.
Okay.
And the caveat is that it don't matter.
Bottom line, it don't matter.
And
Really?
it pains me to have to
Is it?
say that, but
Yeah,
it's,
that
it's
is-
the reality.
that's
It's
pitiful.
the reality.
Wow. All right. So let's see what else we got on there as far as
I had to write down.
proposals.
That was it.
Okay, that was pretty much it.
That's all we've got. We had one in August. We've got two
Sinking
in
fund,
November.
Garden City sinking fund.
I'll be if I was or had the ability to vote on that, I would vote. I would vote yes.
That's a
Doesn't
renewal.
raise your taxes.
It's a renewal,
And it's
so it isn't
it's like maintaining your property.
right.
If your house
Pretty
needs
much.
a new roof,
Good example.
needs a new furnace,
That's exactly what it is.
It is.
Right, right.
you're not going to let it go to pot. You're
Yeah.
going to take care of it.
All right, let's not get on the medical marijuana now.
That's coming.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Give it.
Well, that needs to
2
be
years.
tweaked. Let me tell you. though.
2 years.
You have
Okay,
six.
tweaked.
You have six Garden
It's-
City
there's-
proposals too.
It's high time we address that medical marijuana.
Yes, high time.
Dude.
Yeah, okay, dude.
You have six Garden City proposals, all
Yeah,
of which
charter.
all of which should be approved.
Housekeeping, really.
They are housekeeping. They are just bringing us up to date with the way things are being done differently than when the charter was initiated, and they are making it more efficient.
Yeah.
Oh, that Garden City Charter.
And there is
Yeah.
a Wayne County resolution.
Oh, yeah, the Wayne County. I forgot about
That
that.
should be yes too.
Also,
shouldn't it?
yeah.
That should be a yes. And long story short is this.
You want to read
The
that? What
charter-
is it?
Nope, I don't want to read it. But
No,
the
you don't have to
charter-
read it, but
The
give
charter
us.
today says that the chairperson of the Wayne County Commission
Yeah.
shall be a member of the retirement board. The current chair said, I don't want to be a member of the retirement board. I'm not skilled in that area. It's not my, expertise.
Okay, so get
I should,
somebody
be
in there
allowed,
that
I
is.
should be allowed to designate somebody in my stead. That's what this says. So,
That's a good one.
yeah.
That's a yes. Okay, so 2 no's on the wolf and a yes, but it
And-
doesn't matter.
And a yes on LeBlanc and Knezek.
There you go.
Well,
Yeses
I
for
don't
that.
know.
He goes, I don't know. We'll have some new co-hosts. New
Just
co-hosts
testing,
after
1, 2, 1, 2.
live.
Live. Not, yeah, we're live, but not on TalkShoe. Once again. Okay. So
That's
is
it,
that
my
all you
friend.
got?
That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
You gonna go have some chicken wings?
I think I shall.
You better, because she slaved over that stove and pumpkin
geez.
tonight, her and Derek down there.
Oh, geez.
Check the pumpkin out.
Right?
There's still some judge things and board things that I've got to figure out who I'm voting for.
Richard Bernstein.
He will be a Supreme Court justice.
I hope so.
He
Yeah,
will
I think
be.
so. I think he will.
He's up big in the polls.
Yeah.
Name ID.
Number
Who is it? There's 3. Bernstein, Murphy, and what's the other one?
Deborah Thomas.
Is it
Well,
Thomas?
that's one side of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Those are the
okay.
Democrats, and the Republicans are Brian Zara,
Robert
David
Dunn,
Viviano,
David Dunn.
and
Yeah,
just Robert Redford. I guess that's
the
all.
ones that really
Remember.
spent the money on TV, those are the Republican
Sure,
side.
sure, sure.
Yeah, the Chamber of Commerce is back in noise as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I got a communication from my
Yeah, Robert
union.
Redford, that cracks me up.
I got a communication from my union down at Comerica Park, and of course they endorse just the opposite.
You guys are unionized?
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah.
I didn't know
Unite
that.
here. Oh
A
yeah.
hot dog vendor, Unite?
Unite
Wow.
here has
I
all
haven't.
of them down there.
So where's your benefits?
Yeah, there are no benefits.
You have no
retirement you
perks.
get out of
You
selling
have
a
no
wiener.
perks. I mean, you can't. You don't get free Tiger tickets. Oh my gosh!
Red Hots,
they-
Red Hots. Get your Red Hots. I need the retirement. Red Hots.
If management wants to fire you, they will fight to get you reinstated.
Oh, will they?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you're not an at-will employee. Bottom line. Well, no.
Next.
All right.
Moving on.
All right, let's get on with Richard. What do you got there? Let's
Yeah,
do some
Yeah,
announcements.
because this is a long show.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be
nice.
very quick.
So do it.
So I'll talk next
Will you
week
quit
about
talking and get to it?
a couple of other things.
Jeez,
Make the
he's
Senior
terrible.
Smiles coming up. We need volunteers to join us on November 8th at the
Still?
Neighborhood Center, 8 o'clock in the morning. We've had some people drop out, said they would, and
You're
a
kidding.
handful of folks are not going to be able to be there.
Jaycees are going to be there.
They will. And so will everybody else in this room right now, actually.
Yep, everybody.
So call my office, 313-224-8855 for more information or to volunteer. If you want to email me, it's district12@waynecounty.com. That's district12 at waynecounty.com. November 8th, 8 o'clock. We'll feed you, T-shirt you, send you out to rake some leaves, invite you back at noon for pizza lunch.
Hey, is the T-shirt different this year?
Only slightly.
Slightly?
Yeah,
Are they still white?
they're still white.
Okay.
And I will say this, I'm going off of memory while I try to look on my phone, but we have some sponsors
Yeah. you
this
wanna-
year that
yeah,
I
you
want to
wanna thank a
recognize
few,
now.
Right.
And we're going to recognize them again at the event.
Mm-hmm.
So the Community First Foundation, a local outfit, is donating a significant amount of funding
Mm-hmm.
toward the purchase of items for that day.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Community First Foundation, Seniors Helping Seniors also made a
Mary
very
Rivero.
nice contribution toward our breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
The Garden City Garden Club made
Yeah.
a donation. That'll go
Nice.
toward some of the
Substantial.
various things that we're purchasing.
Lisa Hicks Clayton.
Has said that she's going to make a contribution. Yeah, the councilwoman from Dearborn Heights. DTE is also hoping to be supportive
Oh,
in some
wow.
financial way. We're
That's
still
big.
working with them.
That's big.
Lastly, except for my own committee, we'll be paying for whatever's necessary at the end. But AT&T, actually, we approached them to ask for a modest donation, and AT&T responded by saying we should know early next week whether they can provide a significant donation. So if that happens, of course, we will utilize it. Make a Senior Smile Day has no bank account. We don't keep anybody's money. It's either spent or returned.
Right.
The total event's probably going to be somewhere around $1,700 to, get everything done.
Is Lowe's
So,
providing?
Lowe's,
Yep,
thank you. That's
Lowe's.
not on this list, but Lowe's is providing. Thank you.
Manpower. And
500.
They're donating 500 lawn bags. They're donating a handful of rakes.
Yep.
Maybe.
we had some from last year, I think, too.
I still have some I'll be bringing.
Yep.
Not everybody returned theirs.
Right.
This year I put LoJack on them just so everybody knows.
There you go.
And they're going to be bringing some
Mine should be
volunteers.
beeping.
So yeah, there's a lot of area interest. That's very much appreciated.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's a big deal.
November 8th, be there.
You're kind of a big deal, Richard.
Okay.
Yeah. You are a big
Thank
deal.
you, the representative from Dearborn Heights.
And,
The honorable.
and
One more thing.
What?
I'm working on a procurement ordinance for Wayne County. Actually, I introduced it Tuesday to actually be more transparent to taxpayers and to the Wayne County Commission. There's a lot of spending that goes on without
Kind of
our
like the
involvement.
DDA they want?
And so there's a few feathers that got ruffled in all of this, but that's
Really?
the way it goes. So my hope is that the Wayne County Commission can evaluate, consider, deliberate, discuss, and eventually vote before the end of this
Procrastinate.
year.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so I'm looking forward to that.
And don't you have a coffee hour coming up?
Coffee hour on November 10th. It's a Monday. 11 o'clock at the Maplewood Center, 2 days after the Make a Senior Smile event.
Yep.
It'll be in the Michigan room with, at that time, Senator-elect Knezek and
I will be bringing
myself.
snacks.
Yeah.
And, yeah,
you
we've
will?
committed
Sweet.
To the
Senator
last-
Anderson would.
the
I'll be
last
there.
meeting of the year in all three communities are going to be getting some sort of a snack.
Okay.
Westland, Garden City,
Oh,
and
that's the last
Inkster.
meeting, isn't it?
It's the last meeting of the year.
Nothing in December.
Right.
Okay.
So be there or
Be
go away hungry.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Michigan room.
I am bringing an airplane bag of peanuts for everyone. Enjoy it while it
And I'll bring
lasts.
leftover coffee from the Make a Senior Smile.
Yes.
How long does that typically last?
Coffee hour?
Yeah.
Hour and a half,
Yeah, hour and a half maximum.
max.
Because there's,
Because I usually get back to Garden City about 11:30 on Mondays.
yeah, we like to wrap it up before you get back.
Yeah.
That was actually in the bylaws.
Mr. Taxman.
Yeah, all the
No,
tax,
it's a good
all the
time.
pro-tax people, we actually meet at City Hall that day.
In the mayor's office.
And just one more thing, I know you had your task force with the retail fraud task force.
Yes.
We're going to discuss
Yeah.
that next week,
Good
so
meeting.
stay
Yeah,
tuned for
yeah, the
that.
Colonel wants to call in.
And,
Maybe we'll do that next
The
week.
colonel's going to call in?
Yes.
Cool.
MSP is just awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
The
graduating
colonel
80
is
troopers
awesome.
tomorrow, by the way.
Are they really? 80. Wow. They all going to Inkster?
Inkster has 6 full-time troopers assigned
Do they
solely
really?
to Inkster.
Just
Wow.
started last Monday, right?
Yes, and
Wow.
it's an initial 6-month deployment with
Oh, 6 months.
really no end defined in sight. But we're starting with 6 months to see what happens.
Very
How's that new
happy.
chief over there working out?
She's awesome.
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Chief Yost. Yeah.
Good, good, good. All right.
What they need at the right time, actually.
Okay, so I think that's it.
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, so, hey,
Let's call it a podcast.
if anybody's interested on coming on the show and sharing your story, or maybe you own a business or you provide a service you'd like to share with the surrounding communities, then now's the time to contact us. We will schedule you and give us a call out at gcommunitychat@gmail.com. Also, the City Council wanted me to remind you that the next council meeting is Monday, November 10th, 7 p.m. at City Hall, 6000 Middlebelt Road. The council urges all residents to attend if you can. And let me do some announcements here real quick. I got a ton I got to do, these people. I definitely got to do this one, Dick Tripp. They're having another part 2 of the town hall meeting on bullying, a problem waiting to be solved. And it's going to be held at the Garden City First United Methodist Church, 6443 Merriman Road, on November 11th at 6 p.m. It's a Tuesday. They're going to have a light dinner will be provided before the meeting beginning at 6 p.m. in the Church Fellowship Hall. So get out there and learn everything there is about bullying and what they're doing and what can be done. Hard to believe it's still a problem, isn't it? Also, November 1st, Saturday, don't forget, Community Shred Day at City Hall parking lot. Enter off Central from Ford Road.
Shrek's coming to Garden City?
Shred Day. They're going to accept up to 5 paper grocery bags or cardboard banker boxes of sensitive paper documents. You know them long white boxes, banker box? You probably wouldn't know. I think Jay carries them around for you.
I'm a lot younger. I don't know what a banker box is.
Also, they've added that they're going to accept canned goods and non-perishable items for the home pantry located at the Maplewood Center.
Bring some shredded wheat.
Shredded wheat. Boy, you are really spot on tonight. Hey, the American Legion Auxiliary Unit 396, they're having a fall craft bacon vendor show.
Bacon?
Saturday.
Say bacon?
Bacon.
I'm in. If they're gonna
Bacon
have
vendor
bacon.
show. Saturday, November 8th from 9 a.m. We take him downstairs and get some wings. November the 8th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Hosanna Tabor Lutheran Church, 9600 Laverne. That's in Redford. Food available, admission's only $1 donation. All right, I guess we got to talk about the Santa Land Parade. Not that I'm wishing snow or anything on anybody.
I'm trying to rent a golf cart from someone for that parade.
Are you really? I bet Richard would rent you his.
I think he's the right man to talk to.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually going to be in that. I'm driving one of Gordon Chevrolet's trucks, and we're going to be driving the Senior Olympic gold medalists.
Bragger.
Yep, I'm going to be driving them. So if you want to hop in, warm up in the truck, I'll pull over for you. No, you got to walk, because I think Glenn Anderson did that.
Yeah, I walked last year, too.
We had fun with that today, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. At the senior center? Oh, we'll tell you later. All right, don't forget the Santa Land Parade is on Saturday, November 29th, beginning at 10 a.m. The parade will begin at Garden City High School, travel south on Middlebelt, turn east on Ford Road, and conclude at Central Street. All right? I guess they're still looking for sponsors. They're looking for floats. If you want to enter, the entry forms are on www.santalandparade.com. Check it out. Hey, Wii Bowling. You want to join the Wii Bowling League? You know Wii. That starts Friday, November 7th from 12:30 to 2:30. Cost is 75 cents per person. Oh, I don't know. That's pretty heavy. Light refreshments will be provided. Contact Lisa Watts at 734-793-1856 to form a team for ages 50 and up. It's going to be held at the community center there in the community room. So you're done, Richard. Tai Chi Wednesdays 1 to 2 p.m. at the community center. Tai Chi. Oh, so
Be nice.
it's $4 drop in or pay up front for all classes, $18. Next session, November 5th through December 17th, 6 weeks. No class on November 26th. For more information, 734-793-1856. You want to learn to hustle? Do the hustle.
How many of these do you have?
A lot.
Holy smokes.
You know, I got them all from what's her name today? Yeah, they're teaching
Tell Lisa she can
how to
come on
do
the
the
show.
hustle. Yeah, I should get her out here. Ages 50 and up, Maplewood Center, 10:30 to 12. And that's, you got one of those, right, to do your
Yeah, we
ad?
already talked about that one.
Okay, that's it.
All right.
All right, we're done.
It's a podcast.
All right, don't forget Garden City Business Alliance. Check out our website. You can find it at www.gardencitybusinessalliance.org or gcbiz48135.org.
We have a new online printable coupon page that will be activated as soon as the businesses send in what they want on them. Garden City Business Alliance next meeting will be at 9 a.m. on November 7th at the Straight Farmhouse in the Grand Parlor, location 6221 Merriman Road. We have several things to go over. All Garden City businesses are welcome. We ask that you bring plenty of business cards. It should be a great time. And on December 12th at the farmhouse,
Got any food?
we will have our evening meeting at 6 p.m. More details to follow. Representative Knezek will be in attendance.
If these times or venues change, we will notify you.
And if they don't, we won't notify you.
All right. So anyway, once again, apologize for not being on Talk Shoe. We're going to get that worked out. Richard did something. I don't know what it is. He pulled the plug, and I can't figure it out.
Right.
But we'll get it worked out.
Pay your
Remember,
bill.
we're
Pay
going
your phone bill.
to upload it to TalkShoe. You'll be able to hear the show in its entirety at facebook.com/GCChat. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/communitychatshow. We're not going to do any more promotions. We're done. Well, I think we're ready to call this a podcast.
Have your animals spayed or neutered.
I want to thank everyone that participated in tonight's show. Special thanks to Jim Hart and Jay Johnson from the Jaycees. If you guys are interested, be sure to get a hold of me. You can call Jay Johnson at 313-802-1602, and he will take care of you. Also, Representative David Knezek, thank you. And, of course, my co-hosts, Richard and Tom, and Joey and Holly, and Mike. And I would have thanked everybody in the chat room, but there's nobody in there. Remember, for the latest weather, go to doppertimesweather.com. Also, if you have a show idea or a guest you'd like us to try and get on, send us an email. Don't forget at gccommunitychat@gmail.com, and we will do our best to provide that. Don't forget to join our mailing list, too. So we hope you all enjoyed tonight's show. Reminder to set your clocks back 1 hour this weekend. Don't forget.
Yes.
You gain an hour, man.
Thank gosh.
And have a happy Halloween,
sleep
safe
after this
Halloween.
show.
And listen, watch out for the little goblins out there because you got to drive defensive.
Yes, sir.
For sure. Remember, the success of a community depends on the community, so please support your local businesses. And also, if you see something, say something, Richard. Look out for one another out there.
I'm pretty shy. I never
So
say
on behalf of Richard and Tom, this is Kerry. Thanks for listening, and we will be back next week right here with Stiggy's Dogs
Yes.
on TalkShoe.com, show ID 82757. Good night and take care.
Good night. Good night. Good night.